Hey everybody, Brad again here. Hey, in the last video what we showed was the finishing plasma cutting for the picture. And so today this is what we ended up with. Hope you can see that pretty good there. So we're going to do a little bit of detailing today. Kind of finishing off the fine parts with some special grinders and a little bit of muriatic acid around the welding spots, because we're going to paint this picture up in the end, and I don't want differences in the metal color to kind of show. So let me get a little bit different video here, showing you what's going on. So down in here you can see the color from the welding has kind of blued the steel because it got so hot around that area. So we're going to clean that up with a little bit of muriatic acid. I got a pool, so I got tons of muriatic acid. Just a little bit does the job, and then obviously wipe it down with water. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to get inside these smudge pots here and clean this up, the fine parts in there and inside the stems up in here. And what we're going to do that is I have a Dremel motor tool here. This is Ryobi, doesn't matter what you use. And I got a really fine grinder bit on there. It's a diamond dust. To get these from China, you get this whole set of them for like $7 shipped from China. Takes 3 weeks, but it's cheap as all get out. And then I also got the bigger grinders when I do some more grinding, or large grinding of bumps and back sides and stuff like that. I'm not going to probably use any of those on this one right now. I'm mainly going to use these fine grinder bits and get inside here to kind of clean this up. And then also wanted to show that muriatic acid, what's going to happen with that. So let me get this thing set up, and we'll kind of do a little fast forward in the next one, kind of show what happens. Thanks a lot. Okay, I think we're about done with the metal cutting part and cleaning up and detailing. Hope you can notice a little bit of difference there on the smudge pots. They're a little sharper and cleaner than some of the other edges there. So what I'm going to do now, the final stage, sometimes you can just let it rust out in the grass. Gets the copper color on it there, the rusted color, for a couple of days. You're going to lay it down, you can spray hydrogen peroxide on it. But in these particular ones where the orange goes, I'm going to paint them because the ladies seem to like the colors, and you'll see how it turns out when I'm totally finished off. So right now I'm going to wipe all of it down with lacquer thinner, and that'll get off any of the red Sharpie that I used to draw it up with that I might have missed, not gone exactly over the lines, and clean it up a little bit, get any residue off of there before I paint it up. So that's hopefully it'll be a good shot, a good show, and then I'll speed up the painting aspect there, and we'll show that in the next video. Thanks for watching. Okay, welcome back here. Hey, this is the last part of the picture making with the plasma MIG welder, and then we're going to be painting this picture. So here we are. We got it all cleaned up, wiped off with lacquer thinner. And what I do is I just use regular spray paint, and it might be kind of hard to see this, but I've thinned it up a lot with some lacquer thinner. That way I can brush it on, and I can always add it, make it more, 2 coats on if I want to make it darker. So here's going to be the tan color for the dirt, and then we'll move on to the green for the trees and the leaves, and then I'll do the oranges, and then final coat will be the blue for the sky. So let's give it a shot, see what we got. Ed again here. Hey, this is the last video of the picture making process that we started about 4 or 5 days ago and about 4 or 5 videos ago. So I've just finished painting it today. So here's the final results. Hopefully it'll look good and it'll look a little bit better in the frame. A couple things that I didn't point out in the last video after I painted it up here is I had to use a fine point Sharpie and kind of fill in some areas where I couldn't cut all the way through. As an example, on the side downspouts for the smudge pots, up through here with the oranges where I had to leave certain segments in the oranges in so the whole orange wouldn't fall out, and also along the mountains. I never want to go all the way across because the whole thing would become really flimsy, so I leave a few pieces left over that I don't cut through, and then I use a Sharpie magic marker to fill in the black parts, so once you get the black background on it you don't really notice it that much. So this is the final product. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to mount it in the frame that I picked out for this a while back. I showed you this in the very first video, and then I'll show you how I mounted it into the frame and then put a black background onto it to add the depth, and it really looks pretty cool when it's finally done. So I'm going to put this down here and get the video going so you can kind of see what's happening here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and I wanted to make sure that I took the frame and used the thickest part towards the top. As you can see, that's going to be the top. This is going to be the face down here. I'm going to use an air gun nailer. I did bend it out some to, even though you can see how warped out it is, I did bend it the best I could, but we'll get that all straightened out. We're going to use, looks like about 1/2 inch crown staples in here, in this gun. And then I'm going to go around to tag a couple and make sure it fits properly before I do all of them. Okay, so we'll take a look at it real quick from the front. See how that's looking. It's going to look pretty good. Alright, let's go ahead and staple in the rest of them here. Really pull it together because, as you can see, use a really heavy duty air gun here. It's a pretty cheap one, but it really helps pull that metal. It really gets worked out really bad with all the welding and not only plasma cutting but the welding on it. Okay. Alright, that should hold it in there. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit. So here's the final product inside the frame. I'll bend this up a little bit so we can see. There we go. And then I've already cut the black background. Right here, this is just poster board. You can buy it at Walmart for about $3 for a 2x3 sheet. And that's going to go in the back like this. And I'll use a special type of gun called, sort of like a stapler gun. It's called a point driver that you see when you buy pictures. And to put that in back and tight, and I'm going to put some spacers in there so the black background stands off, maybe about 1/8 of an inch, so you really see the good depth. I know it's kind of hard on a picture to see that, but that's the final result. So hopefully that'll make somebody happy in their house. And I did do the R, as you can see the R. I live in Redlands, and there's actually is a R in the mountains that I'm looking at out my back window here. They got a big R that the University of Redlands did 100 years ago in the mountain. I don't know how tall it is. It's probably a good 100 feet tall on the mountain, but I put the R up there because people like that. But you see the color really adds to it with and I don't do it really dark blues and whites and greens and things. It just looks too funky if I end up doing it straight out of the can. So I thin the paint up real good with some lacquer thinner. So, and I got some old nails. This was an old kind of a cool old wood frame that I made out of some wood that I found, was able to procure from an old barn or shed or something like that. So Anyway, hopefully that's useful and you learned a lot. Next video I'll do will probably just do one where I just rust it out in the grass and then I don't do any painting on it. So anyway, hopefully I found that useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you like it, and you'll see different things I do down the road, not only artwork but things to work with your plasma cutter and MIG welder to fix and make around your house and save a bunch of money. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, here we are with the final product. I know it's been about 4 or 5 videos long, and I probably got about 4 hours into the picture itself, but we're done. We're ready to go. In the last video I showed you the different painting aspects and stuff like that, and I showed you that I was going to mount it. So I got it all mounted in, and this is the back with the poster board on there. I just used a point driver like this right here. You can buy these, or you can use a big staple gun if you needed to put in the points to put the black background on the back. So hopefully you found that useful and fun. It's kind of interesting how each one turns out. I try to make each one a little bit different. Sometimes I experiment with stuff and it turns out great, sometimes it doesn't. So anyway, you live and learn a lot, and I've learned a lot, that's for sure, but I have tried to have fun doing it. So anyway, thanks for watching. We appreciate it, and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.